Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of DMS 3000 News. It's episode number 125 on this Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. And I hope you're having a great Thursday. I hope you had a great hump day with us yesterday because we're getting ready close to the weekend and I got a special announcement to give to you during the important information. As always, I'm your host, Jason Icanio, the host of DMS 3000 News. And I hope you are ready to go because we've got the articles that you are dying to see today. Oh, yeah, dying. And we've got a special show for you tomorrow. It's going to be a quickie show, but it's going to be an intense impact show. And we're going to have these shows every Friday, and I'll tell you about them as we get along here. Okay, up first on today's program. Oh, let me put the banner up here. Yeah, that would help. There we go. There's the banner. And the first article of today is the real reason McDonald's keeps the filet of fish on their menu. You know, for all you people who love filet of fish and love McDonald's to and just can't get enough of it, here's the real reason why they keep it on the menu. And it's not just because of, Fish Friday during Lent. There's another reason, too. And we'll tell you about it in just a little bit here. And author Emily Henry on why reading romance is an act of hope. Romance novels have gotten a bad rap over the course of many decades, and, well, there's a whole reason why you should be reading them, but not for the reasons that you think. But there is an act of hope, but there's a slight negative reason to reading romance novels. You want to read them for just the enjoyment, not so much to try to see if you can land a mate. Okay? And how does Facebook's snooze button work? Yeah, there's some stuff about Facebook that we just don't know about. So we're going to give you all of the expertise advice that you can possibly ingest in a short 15-minute article that has to do with the snooze button and Facebook. Very much so. Plus headline sports and the very important information I have for you today. Of course, we also have what day is today. And, of course, the motivation of the day, as well as the Black History Month continuational look at all of the events that take place every day during the month of February. We're coming down to the last week. Next week will be the last week of February. It's been a fantastic month, and we're getting ready to go into March and get ready for tax season soon. So if we're not already there, if you've already done your taxes, great. If you haven't, like myself, I got to get out there and I got to do them. So next month and definitely into April, well, we got until April 15th. So next month, definitely we've got to get on the ball here. But anyways, that's the way it's going to be looking right now. Remember to also check out Children 3000 Hangouts with David St. Dennis every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Give or take a few, depending on who he's got. He might give you some repeats. He might give you some new people. He'll let me know who he's got on that following week. And then, of course, we'll pass it on to you. And what a great show last night we had with the Tier Masters. Wipe Those Tears, fantastic show. We're already booked and ready to go for episode 23 next week. So tell your friends to tune in because now we're in the eyes, and we got in there just barely yesterday. And we finished up the Ikari Warriors series, and I'm so glad that it's so over. I really rated it so badly if you watch the whole show yesterday. It was a fun 2 hours. I even threw in a special who am I question to the Tier Masters, and one person out of the entire group got it. I won't give you any more information about yesterday's show. Just have to tune in and watch it. But it was a fun show, and the Tier Masters and myself will be back next week to do the final week of February on the 28th. Should be fun. Okay? Now, if you haven't already noticed also, too, I lost another pound this last week into going into week 13. So after 12 weeks so far and going into week 13, I'm at 25 and a half pounds down at 308 and a half. Now, could I have lost more? Yeah, because we're getting closer to the end of week 13, and I'll give you that update next Monday. Okay? So do check out those events, and let's get going here. We're ready to go with the headlines for today, February 22nd, 2024. AT&T outage disrupts some 911 calls as tens of thousands lose service. Reports of outages spiked around 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time, reaching more than 71,000 within a few hours. By midday, AT&T said it had restored about three-fourths of its cell phone network. Wow. I hope it's not a breach. Guinness World Records posthumously strips Bobby of his title of oldest dog ever. Aww. Bobby's owner said the dog had lived a record-breaking 31 years and 165 days old when he died in October of 2023, but a review by Guinness World Records found that evidence of his age was inconclusive. Ugh. Soccer star Danny Alves is found guilty of rape and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Danny Alves, one of the most successful soccer players of his generation, was found guilty of raping a woman in a Barcelona nightclub in 2022. Delta's special total solar eclipse flight sold out in 24 hours. An Austin, Texas to Detroit flight along April's path of totality is sold out. And there are other flights with a view, though your best bet may actually be here on Earth, says one astrophysicist. Some USDA programs have been mirrored in inequity. A panel's final report offers changes. An equity commission created by the U.S. Department of Agriculture has released over 60 recommendations it says will finally bring more fairness to policies affecting farming and rural America. Well, they came to clinics in Mexico for cosmetic surgery and got a deadly fungal meningitis. Ooh. The risks of medical tourism are depicted in a study of U.S. patients who traveled to 2 clinics for procedures like tummy tucks and butt lifts and were exposed to a virulent fungal meningitis. Ooh. Yeah, that's why if you're going to do anything of that sort, stay in the States, folks. Haley says Biden is more dangerous than Trump. Duh. Boeing oust head of 737 MAX program. In an interview with NPR, Nikki Haley says in a rematch between Biden and Trump, Biden is a bigger threat. Boeing has removed the executive in charge of the troubled Boeing 373 program. What fighting in the Middle East means for the U.S. troops' presence in Iraq. Well, after the U.S. killed the commander of an Iran-backed militia in Baghdad, pressure is mounting on Iraq's government to expel America's 2,500 military personnel. Scientists scanning the seafloor discovered a long-lost Stone Age megastructure. The more than half-mile-long wall, called the Blinker Wall, was likely used by Stone Age hunter-gatherers to herd reindeer toward a shooting blind. A hospital is suing to move a quadriplegic 18-year-old to a nursing home, and she says no. The young North Carolina woman has refused to go to a nursing home in another state, and while she wants to leave the hospital, she asks to live in her own house, close to her family and her school. How the dead survive as bargaining chips in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Well, Israel and Hamas are both holding the bodies of those killed on the other side, refusing to release them. They've done so for years and are again using the enemy dead as leverage in the current war. Senator Joe Manchin on why he can't endorse Trump, but isn't sold on Biden. Well, West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin talks to NPR's Michael Martin about Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and Nikki Haley, and his decisions against another run for the Senate or a new bid for president. Look, you know these Democrat senators are not going to back up Trump because they are too loyal to Joe Biden. We all know that. And this sucker right here, you're going to get an earful from me tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Oh, I got a nice little long show for all the Democrats out there. Don't worry about it. You're gonna hear my unriling breath, and it ain't gonna be pretty. Feast your eyes on Taiwan's distinct food and understand the history of colonization. Taiwan has endured a long history of colonization, as a trip to the culinary center of Tinian reveals. Those outside forces have helped create a cuisine that is distinctly Taiwanese. Yeah, we already know about that. What GOP infighting in South Carolina can and can't tell us about 2024. In Horry County, South Carolina, a squabble over who is the official county party sheds light on struggles the GOP faces more broadly in 2024. Private company Intuitive Machines is set to land on the moon. And here's what to know. The Houston-based company hopes to make the first successful commercial landing on the lunar surface. It would also be America's first soft landing in decades. After his wife died, he joined nurses to push for new staffing rules in hospitals. Nurses have been telling lawmakers that hospital understaffing is putting patient lives at risk. They want Michigan to follow California and Oregon and institute mandatory staffing ratios. A man is shot dead in Spain, maybe a Russian army defector. A man who was shot dead in the region at Alicante in Spain is believed to be Maxim Kuzminov. Kuzminov, yeah. He's a Russian helicopter pilot who defected to Ukraine last year. China says it plans to send more pandas to the San Diego Zoo this year. Aww. In November, Chinese President Xi Jinping raised hopes his country would start sending pandas to the U.S. again after he and President Joe Biden convened in Northern California. Alabama seeks to carry out second execution using controversial nitrogen gas method. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall's office asked the state Supreme Court on Wednesday to set an execution date for Alan Eugene Miller. The state said the execution would use nitrogen. And finally, a girl dies after a sand hole on a Florida beach collapses. Yes, the collapse of a sand hole that killed a 7-year-old Indiana girl who was digging with her brother on a Florida beach is a danger that kills and injures several children a year around the country. And unfortunately, the little boy is still in stable condition, but he's still in the hospital. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family. And there you have it, folks. Today's headlines for today, February 22nd, 2024. All right, let's go to NBA. And the second half of the season starts tonight. So let's look at the games. There's a lot of them going on. The games at 7 o'clock have tip-offs with Magic at the Cavaliers, Nets at the Raptors, Knicks at the 76ers, the lowly Pistons at the Pistons at the Pacers. At 7:30, you have the Suns at the Mavericks. At 8 o'clock, it's the Clippers at the Thunder, Rockets versus the Pelicans, Celtics at the Bulls. At 9 o'clock, it's the Wizards and the Nuggets. The Hornets play the Jazz at 9. At 10, the Lakers and the Warriors. And the Spurs at the Kings round out the late games for tonight. NHL, let's take a look. All the games from last night. Boy, I got a stuffed up nose. Stuffy nose. We had, here were the games from last night. Sabres 3, Canadians 2. It was the Flyers over the Blackhawks 3-1. Blue Jackets over the Ducks 7-4. Maple Leafs over the Coyotes 6-3. And the Bruins beat the Oilers in overtime 6-5. Tonight's games have the Panthers at the Hurricanes. Face-off is at 7 o'clock. Capitals at the Lightning. Canadians at the Penguins. Rangers will face the Devils in a New York, New Jersey matchup at the Prudential Center at 7. It's the Stars and the Senators at 7. Avalanche at the Red Wings at 7. These are 8 o'clock games. Islanders at the Blues. Bruins at the Flames at 9. At 10 o'clock, it's the Canucks at the Kraken. And the Maple Leafs at the Golden Knights at 10. And the Predators will face the Kings at 10:30. And so far, let's take a look at that spring training game that's going on. It was started at 3:30 this afternoon. Right now, in the bottom of the second, oh my goodness, the Los Angeles Dodgers are beating the San Diego Padres 8-0. Wow. And it's only the bottom of the second. But again, it's spring training. But if you're following even those games, if you're a Dodgers fan, you're going to be very happy the way they're playing. Tomorrow's games have at 3:05, the White Sox will play the Cubs, the Royals and the Rangers at 3:05. At 3:08, the Padres will play the Dodgers. And at 3:10, these are games tomorrow. The Diamondbacks will play the Rockies. And we'll give you those scores first thing next time on the show. Okay? Now, for the important information I'd like to pass along to you. I don't have to worry about Brandon Martin covering for tomorrow, though I did thank him for standing by just in case we did need him. I have made a decision tomorrow that each and every Friday, at the same time, 4 o'clock, that I will come on here and they'll count as an episode. I will be sitting back here at the podium, and so you can see me full body, and back there, I'll have my mouse and ready to go with the table and ready to give you a town hall style show that will last a half an hour to an hour tops. This town hall will include everything that's been going on since the elections, some harsh criticisms, and some opinions that need to be addressed very delicately. So I hope that you will tune in tomorrow to take a look at what I've got to say. You don't necessarily have to agree with me, but I will tell you that everything that we have so far is based on solid facts. These facts were not made up, but do understand that the left side of the media and the left-wing Democrats will make you think that everything is honky-dory when in reality it's not. But draw your own conclusions. My job is not to change the way you vote, but to make you aware that what you're voting for this election is vitally important to the future of our country. And again, I've said it before and I will say it again. If you agree and are totally 100% okay with the way your president right now is running the country, then you have a lot of digging to do that you don't know. And if you disagree with everything and you want a change, you have to go in there and vote and do what you need to do to make a point. The bottom line is, folks, we have not had wars for the 4 years that Donald Trump was president. And a lot of people like to blame him for the pandemic, but that pandemic came at the last tail end of his presidency. So whose responsibility was it, even though Donald Trump was leaving the presidency? President Biden. And what did he do? He shut down the entire country. And who opened up the states? Those governors who were Republican red state governors, including the state of Florida. While everybody else was shut down, those red state governors reopened us up in as little as 4 months, and we were able to get back on track and work through it. And, they also took our temperature and succumbed us to a lot of tests to make sure that we were okay to enter wherever we were working at any given time. But that was the reason for it, and I'm here to tell the story. And no, I never got COVID because I got both my shots, and my shots last for a good long time. And I'll tell you right now, there is a lot of speculation about this China virus and what it's done to the entire country and how it destroyed a lot of things and took the lives of many people. So we're going to talk about all of that tomorrow on the first of many town hall meetings on episode number 126 of DMS 3000 News. Okay, when we come back, we're going to look at what day is today. And the first article on the list here, the real reason McDonald's keeps the filet of fish on their menu. We'll be back with more DMS 3000 News right after this.
Almost home. Chocolate chip cookies that taste almost homemade.
These are great. I can almost taste the recipe.
You're tasting their great chocolate. Deep, dark, richer chocolate.
I taste molasses.
I have never tasted chocolate like this in a chocolate chip cookie.
I taste brown sugar.
This is premium chocolate.
Almost home chocolate chip cookies. You can almost taste the recipe. You can definitely taste the chocolate.
I used to bake chocolate chip cookies like this.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation of being on top of a cold mountain. And all I want to do is yodel. Yodel-ay.
Get the sensation of deep chocolate covering cool peppermint.
When I bite into a York peppermint patties, I'm getting the sensation of a little bit shivers tippy-toeing up and down my spine.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
Oh, it's beautiful. Did Daddy see it? Mr. Macho cried.
Hey,
I always cry when I'm hungry.
What goes great with happiness? Something sitting on a Ritz. Everything will taste better. Taste better when it's sitting on a Ritz.
Ritz makes food taste great.
When it's sitting on a Ritz.
Try low salt Ritz too. Great Ritz taste with less salt.
Nabisco.
I'm about to offend a lot of steak lovers by covering this beautiful sirloin with ketchup. You wouldn't do that, right? Yet you'd pour ketchup on a burger. And isn't that chopped steak? Try A1 steak sauce on your burger instead of ketchup. Its herbs and spices bring out the natural flavor of steaks. It makes hamburgers taste like steak burgers. So don't cover it. Discover it with A1. Then save the ketchup for your fries.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to be looking at what day is today. I already had it jump to the saved on the on the first article of today, but let's take a look at what day is today. And the first one up on our list looks really good. National Chili Day. Ooh, time to warm up with a bowl of chili, or in this case, a dish of chili topped with some of your favorite stuff. Yes, February 22nd, we celebrate National Chili Day, a moment to pay homage to the legendary dish that brings people together and can tear them apart. Chili is the ultimate people pleaser, but it's also the ultimate cook-off dish. Family recipes are guarded like crown jewels, and secret ingredients are never spoken of above a whisper. And the debates about what makes true chili, beans or no beans, are fierce. But these are all part of what makes chili such an experience. And when chili is being served, perhaps with some chopped onions and shredded cheese on top, everyone comes to the table. The timeline started in the 1700s. The old legend is believed that immigrants from the Canary Islands introduced chili after settling in San Antonio. And then in 1880, still without a name, the earliest description of chili is written by Houston-based J.C. Cooper. Or Clopper. 1800s or the 1880s, chili stands featured women dressed as chili queens and served chili to customers. And serving chili to customers becomes so popular in San Antonio, Texas. And Texas has spoken in 1977. The Texas legislature declares chili as its official dish. So here we go. The data gathered by the top Denver marketing agency. The National Data Science Team surveyed 1,000 people about everyone's favorite food. What best describes your attitude towards chili? Well, only 5% of Americans say they're not fond of the classic dish. Ah, wow. 68% said they love it. 27% said I like it. 4% say I don't like it. And about 1% say they hate it. Wow. That's an interesting concept there of a stretch. 31% of them like it with cheese, 15% with crackers, 15% with cornbread. And yeah, I like it with cheese. But sour cream, 12%, and 9% like it with tortilla chips. Top 5 most interesting insights about chili. 26% of Americans prefer their chili spicy. 24% of Americans say chili is their favorite comfort food. 20% of Americans say their family has its own chili recipe. 14% of Americans say chili makes them gassy. And 10% of Americans have a chili recipe they won't share with anyone, which means they'll bury it in the ground before they ever give it to somebody. That's somehow the way to protect it, you know? The full ranking of the most popular chili accompaniment is number 1 is the cheese at 31%. Number 2 is the crackers. Number 3 is cornbread at 15%. Number 4, sour cream at 12%. Let's see. Number 5, tortilla chips, 9%. 5% like diced onions. That's the 6th one. Hot sauce is number 7. Number 8 is avocado. Number 9 is salsa, black olives, cilantro. The full ranking of the most popular ways to eat chili is in a bowl at 52%, on a hot dog, 12%. Number 3 in a Frito chili pie. Never had it before, but I heard this was really good. 4, chili cheese fries, Number 5, over rice. Number 6, on a baked potato. Number 7, on garlic bread. And number 8, spaghetti over spaghetti. Yeah, and then made with warm mac and cheese. And gee whiz. And the final one is on a sloppy Joe at 2%. Not bad. That's the full ranking on how to eat it. Now, maybe your go-to recipe is in your head, or maybe it's earmarked in your favorite cookbook. Maybe you need to call your mom and have her give you your step-by-step instructions. However the chili gets on the stove, get it there. And then enjoy a piping hot bowl of the good stuff. And everyone, and we mean everyone, has a chili recipe. So invite everyone over and have a chili throwdown. Competition will be fierce, but so will your appetites. And we mean it when we say that everyone has a chili recipe. That includes the chefs at your favorite restaurants. Find out which spots in your town have chili on the menu and do your own version of a progressive dinner to find your favorite. The next year, on National Chili Day, you'll know where to head. It's great to know that still there's possibilities out there for some reason or another. All right, let's go to the headlines. Oh, I'm sorry. Why we love chili and why we love it so much. Well, it's hearty. Some soups are barely an appetizer, but chili is a meal unto itself. A big bowl of steaming chili can warm you up and satisfy you like other foods can. It sticks to your bones and keeps you full. Secret chili recipes are the stuff of legend and of deliciousness. The variety in the dish is mind-boggling and means you'll never get sick of showing up at a friend's house and hearing that chili being served. And chili has sprung one of the fiercest food debates there is. Do beans belong in chili? And chili is the ultimate comfort food. You start feeling good the minute you open the door. Its spicy aroma wafting through the air, holding a steaming bowl of the stuff in your hands, and you're on your way to a perfect culinary experience. No one misses chili night. Let's see. No one misses chili night. It's informal, cozy, and time for people to be together. There you go. All right. The next time we'll see National Chili Day will be on the 24th of... I'm sorry. It'll be on the Thursday, February 27th, 2025. All right. So be there 5 days later next year. There you have it, friends. National Chili Day. All right, let's take a look and see what else we have. Margarita Day. We don't have too many drinkers around here. Founder Scouts, Independence, St. Lucie. I don't think I want to bore you with a margarita. Although the margaritas are very good, but still. Let's see. That's it for today. Okay. Nothing else going on in the world of national holidays. So at this time, it's the bottom of the hour. And when we come back, we will look at our first article of the day, which is the real reason McDonald's keeps the filet of fish on their menu. We'll be back with more DMS 3000 News right after this.
Oh, wow. Pizza. Who delivered?
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Oh, it's still hot. Delivery guy must have flown here.
Nobody flew anywhere. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
DiGiorno?
DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza is a whole new kind of frozen pizza. Its crust rises and bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza.
Wow, tons of toppings, too. I hope you tip the guy.
Yeah, $50.
What?
You're so
Stop it.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
You ever notice you can't really smell your own breath?
Hi, Tim. Problem, Tim?
You can smell other people's breath, but not your own, even though it's right under your nose. So you search for fresh, clean breath or face the consequences.
Hey, guys.
Want fresh, clean breath? Get the only mint with Redson. And be certain with Certs.
New cherry Coke, just out and outrageous.
Cherry Coca-Cola.
Check it out and find out. Taste is what it's all about. Outrageously smooth, outrageously light. Cherry makes it wild, Coca-Cola makes it right. New cherry Coke, outrageous. New cherry Coke, outrageous.
You gotta get dirty. You know, if you go through life just sticking to the roads, and if you're designed to be off-road, then use it. Getting dirty's tons of the fun. I think it's a mental cleansing, if you will, cleaning your insides while dirtying your outsides. And that's what Chevron with Techron's all about. It helps keep my engine clean and emissions low.
No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
Man, what a rush.
Hi, I'm your conscience. No, really, I am. Listen, I wouldn't give that to the kids if I were you. You see, you expect a conscience to say no to things that taste extra good, but not anymore. Drake's Cakes, good as always, and better than ever. No tropical oils, low cholesterol, or even no cholesterol, and low sodium. So when the kids ask for a Drake's Cake, I can say, go for it, Mom. Is this gonna be fun or what?
Hey, look at this.
What?
Save nearly $750.
With that kind of money, we could fly south.
Except we don't migrate.
No, I'm talking actually fly. Sit back, relax, maybe work on my novel, and I won't forget the little birds out there. Actually, yes, I will.
Wow, money changed you.
Just keeping it real. Do people still say that?
Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds to spend on whatever you dream up.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News, and it's time for that first article of the day, and here's the real reason why they keep the filet of fish. And if you're a McDonald's fan, you wonder to yourself, when will it ever go away, or will they get rid of it? Well, the big answer to that question is no. Marissa Laliberti is going to give us the reason why they keep the filet of fish on the menu. The filet of fish might be one of the last things you think of when it comes to a fast food restaurant famous for its burgers, fries, and McNuggets. But there's a valid reason McDonald's keeps the fried fish sandwich on its menu, and it won't be going away anytime soon. See what the first McDonald's menu actually looked like. To learn about the filet of fish's place on the menu, we need to turn our attention to Lou Groen, who'd been kicked out of his home at age 17 and had spent decades working odd jobs before finally opening his own place and working his way to becoming president of Cincinnati Restaurant Group. That position helped him get in touch with Ray Kroc, who launched McDonald's as a powerhouse corporation, and Kroc helped Groen open his own franchise. Well, Groen opened the doors to the Cincinnati, Ohio area's first McDonald's in 1959. Business seemed promising, but there was one major hurdle for Groen. For most restaurants, weekends starting on Friday nights, bringing the biggest profits. But in 1962, his McDonald's was in an area that was 87% Catholic, in a time when most Catholics wouldn't eat meat on Fridays, with the exception of fish. The burger joint wasn't concerned with providing the healthy options that they now have, so that meant sales actually plummeted at what should have been their busiest time due to the lack of veggie-friendly options. So see how the McDonald's menu has changed since the year you were born. Now, Groen needed to draw in customers somehow, and he noticed that the American chain, Big Boy Restaurants, seemed to have cracked the Friday code in greater Cincinnati with a novelty food item. That chain happened to serve a fish sandwich, so Groen wondered if seafood might be his saving grace too. He introduced the idea of a fried halibut sandwich with tartar sauce to Kroc, who scoffed. Kroc had his own idea, a meatless hula burger of pineapple and cheese on a bun. Well, Kroc agreed to put both the halibut and hula sandwiches on the menu one Friday to see which sold more. And about 350 fish sandwiches were sold that fateful day. And though Kroc wouldn't reveal how many customers bought hula burgers, he did admit that Groen had won the bet. With that, the hula burger kicked the McBucket and became the inaugural item on a long list of embarrassing McDonald's menu flops, of which there were a lot of those as well, too. Once he discovered that 350 of his sandwiches had sold, Groen was allowed to move forward with his fish idea. However, Kroc wanted to bring the price down to 25 cents. Now, considering each halibut sandwich cost 30 cents to make, the two men had to revise the recipe using cod because it was a cheaper fish and adding a slice of cheese for flavor. It might not have been as good as his halibut version, but customers weren't complaining. Friday business revved up and Groen's restaurant survived, unlike these failed food brands. The fillet of fish, well, the recipe has taken some new turns since the 1960s, now using sustainable Alaskan pollock, but it seems to be a permanent item on the McDonald's menu as one of the only pescatarian-friendly options. And even though meat-free Fridays aren't practiced by most Catholics year-round, the fish option still seems to be important for religious customers. About a quarter of McDonald's filet-of-fish sales are in the spring during Lent, when many Catholics choose not to eat land or air-based meats. Spokeswoman Becca Harry told USA Today. So when March or April rolls around, don't be surprised if you hear hungry customers begging McDonald's to give me that filet of fish. And next, learn 75 mind-blowing facts about McDonald's. Yeah, and why the McRib keeps coming back year after year. Why don't they keep that on the menu all year round? Melissa Liberti, she is Simonian, is a London-based associate editor with the global promotions team at WebMD's Medscape.com and was previously a staff writer for Reader's Digest. Her work has also appeared in Business Insider, Parents Magazine, Creaky Joints, and the Baltimore Sun. You can find her on Instagram at Marissa Simonian. Simonian. On Instagram. You can find her there. I can't pronounce her last. She's got a different name. It's Marissa Liberti Simonian. Samoan. There you go. All right. Just like you would with the Samoans and that sort of thing. All right. When we come back, we'll look at the next article on our list here. It's author Emily Henry. I can't talk today, folks. Emily Henry on why reading romance is an act of hope. And how does Facebook's snooze button work? We'll give you those articles when we come back with more of DMS 3000 News right after this.
Oh, wow. Pizza. Who delivered?
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Oh, it's still hot. Delivery guy must have flown here.
Nobody flew anywhere. It's not delivery, it's...
Long ago, in a faraway land of ice and snow, the legend was born and the magic became real.
I'm an elf, yes.
For everyone who believes in him and for everyone who wants to, Alexander Salkind presents Dudley Moore, John Lithgow, in the movie with the whole legend, the whole adventure, and the magical wonder of Santa Claus, the movie. Seeing is believing. An Alexander and Ilya Salkind production, rated PG. Starts Wednesday.
These lonely pound puppies need someone to love. Someone who'd love a little puppy love.
For you, Grandma.
Pound puppies are as cuddly as real puppies.
He'll keep you company in the dorm.
They're the perfect way to say I love you for birthdays, holidays, or any day. Pound puppies, so soft and adorably lonely. Sometimes the hardest thing about giving them.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Is giving them up.
Pound puppy, you're my one and only puppy love.
Wednesday, Charlie's little girl falls for an older guy with Charlie and Company. And on George Burns Comedy Week, a serious playwright,
Mr. Honey Bunny, your car.
sells out. Then, ready for high adventure, terror, and outer space?
We'll have coffee.
Then you're ready for Robert Hayes, Julie Haggerty, and Peter Graves in Airplane 2. Wednesday.
Power Wheels Raider, Power Wheels High Rider, Power Wheels Classic Convertible, each sold separately, all battery powered with real motors.
And its own power motor makes it go, go, go. Power Wheels, Power Wheels, Power Wheels, power makes it go.
Your parents assemble them easily, then off you go, over the hills, around the trees.
Power Wheels, Power Wheels, Power Wheels, power makes it go.
Power Wheels Classic Convertible, Raider, and High Rider all run on rechargeable batteries, each sold separately.
All right, welcome back to the show here, and we're ready to go with our next article. And we had an interesting comment here from Brandon Bogard, who said, and now to find the answer to why some McDonald's don't serve McLobster anymore. And sadly, yes, that's a real thing. And I said, well, it was a total flop like the McLean Deluxe. Yeah, if it didn't have the sales, probably didn't last too long on the menu. And the McLean Deluxe was on that menu in the early 90s for a short amount of time. But who wants to eat a burger that's got 94% fat-free meat? That's what I'm wondering to myself as well, too. Now, author Emily Henry on why reading romance is an act of hope, and Leandra Bebo is going to give us that fantastic reason why reading romance novels is an act of hope. For this author, romance novels are a balm for a world in the brink. So if you ever stepped foot in a bookstore in the past 3 years, odds are you've come across Emily Henry novels. And you know the front table stacked with beach reads at the first whisper of warm air each year, or that shelf in the romance section studded with candy-colored illustrated covers. That's where you'll find all three of the author's best-selling books. There's a better than average chance that her latest release, which hits shelves on April 25th of 2023, will follow suit. This was, of course, last year. As Library Journal reports, it topped library hold list the week it came out. Happy Place by Emily Henry promises to whisk readers away for another feel-good story of heartbreak and hope. Set in Maine during a reunion between friends, it's like your favorite summer books, escapist travel books, and second chance romances rolled into one. So how did this one-time author of young adult fiction become one of adult readers' favorite authors? And does Henry think she's found her permanent happy place on the romance shelf? To find out, we asked the queen of the rom-com directly. And here's what Henry has to say about her career journey, the vulnerability of love stories, her picks for the best books to read this summer, and what she might tackle next. So, once a writer hits a certain level of success, it can be tough to remember she wasn't always a book talk sensation. Somehow, years of hard work get painted over with words like overnight success. So let's get one thing straight. Bestseller-dom wasn't instantaneous for Emily Henry. She's been a literary darling for the past 3 years. Readers, critics, and librarians alike have watched her star grow. And it's practically impossible to walk into a bookstore and not find one of her rom-coms on display. But not so long ago, Henry was, in her own words, a mid-list author. She eked out a respectable living writing coming-of-age young adult books. And while those novels may not have garnered the dedicated fan base of her adult romances, they're still smart, poignant stories worth reading. A Million Junes, in particular, is a wonderfully lyrical and evocative father-daughter novel that will, without fail, make you cry. It's clear from those stories that young adult fiction wasn't just a way station on Henry's journey to adult fiction. It was something she truly enjoyed writing. The thing that drew me to young adults was ultimately the same thing that pulled me into writing what I write now, she explains. I love books that are about an emotional or mental transformation. And that happens on an intense level when you're a teenager, but it also happens again and again as you move through life. Middling success was the perfect way to kickstart a writing career, she says. Watching others write hit milestones ahead of her taught her to temper expectations and to be aware that reaching the next rung on the charts isn't a cure-all for fears or frustration. I realized that no matter how good things look from the outside, this job will still have its challenges, she says. I'm so much more appreciative of this strange, surreal moment I'm having because I had this other career before. Perhaps some writers plot their careers like their books. Maybe they do market research or choose a book genre based on sales trends. Maybe they write with the end, a book club pick, a comfortable living, a fat wallet in mind. And that's not Emily Henry way. Her shift from young adults was unplotted and driven only by an itch to do something fun and different in her spare time. And what sounded fun was a romantic comedy set on Lake Michigan in a place like her college town of Holland, Michigan. She typed away at the story as a personal side project, a file saved as beach read that she wasn't sure would ever see the light of day. It wasn't a career decision at all, she says. Every once in a while, I wonder if it was publishable. It wasn't until I saw this huge boom in romance with authors like Jasmine Guillory and Helen Hong that I pulled it back out and sent it to my agent to see if she thought it was something people might actually want to read. Henry's timing was perfect. There's no way she could have known that her first foray into romance would catch readers at home during an unprecedented season of fear and isolation. She wrote Beach Read in a pre-pandemic world, but it hit shelves, or more likely at-home devices, in May of 2020. Post-pandemic book sales suggest readers still want HEAs, that's happily ever afters in romance book speak, more than ever. And according to Publishers Weekly, romance sales keep climbing, jumping almost 45% in the first quarter of this year. Book sales in general are still higher than pre-pandemic numbers, and Publishers Weekly calls romance novels a key driver. Henry has a theory about the raging hunger for love stories. These books empower readers to keep their hearts soft and brave and hopeful when the world feels like it's falling apart. The world is on fire, she says. The thing that's still within our power is how we love the people around us and how we tend to their hearts and our own. I sometimes see readers sort of hand wave off their love of romance as just wanting an escape. But I honestly think that minimizes what we're actually doing when we make and experience this kind of art. It's an act of hope. Henry is the first to acknowledge that reading a book with a happy ending doesn't change the fact that life is full of grief and heartache. But she believes happily ever afters do remind readers what we're all fighting for. All that it does is put a stake in the ground and say, this is what truly matters. This moment weighs more than all the pain before it, and it earns the pain that comes after it, she says. In the end, she's just one romance author who got swept up in the mid-lockdown clamor of something happy, something good. She might have intended Beach Read as a fun personal project, but it turns out that her story gave readers a dose of dopamine and earnest, vulnerable optimism in a remarkable tough time. And there you have it, friends. She's also got some more stuff here, too. And despite her clear passion for romance, Henry admits that she's new to the genre. I was a romance writer before I was a romance reader, she reveals. I know there's been a ton of debate and disagreement over the cutesy illustrated cover trend. But I do think that sort of cover brought in a ton of new romance readers, and I was one of those. In the author's view, it takes guts to admit that you read or write about love, considering the stigma attached to reading romances instead of, say, highbrow literary fiction books. The genre may have previously sacrificed readers on the altar of spicy photography, as appealing as rippling ads and ripped bodies may be. They're a visual announcement that someone in the book is probably getting it on. Those cutesy covers helped wannabe romance readers wade in more easily. You feel like you can read on the train or in the doctor's office without fear of judgment, she says. Then once you discover how much you love romance novels, the fear of judgment dissipates anyway, and you accept how stupid it is to waste any time or energy being embarrassed to love generally wonderful books. It's clear that Talking about romance touches a nerve with Henry. She wonders why society is so squeamish about happy endings. And she questions why tragic love stories get called art, while happy endings get called cheesy. We shouldn't feel self-conscious about wanting a happily ever after, she says. She reasons. Why shouldn't we want the same thing in art as we do in life? There is no safe way to fall in love, she says. You're always risking pain, embarrassment, regret, and I tend to think the best things in life require this of us. It would be easy to give Henry's career the Hallmark treatment, wrapping it up with a cute bow and declaring that she's found her happy place in the romance section, but that might be oversimplifying things a bit. I don't truly feel like I quite know where my books fit genre-wise, she says. The love story is always an important component, and it's never the only important component. It's true, Henry's books tell love stories, but they don't stop there. In Happy Place, the friendships simmer with as much tension as the romance. In Beach Read, characters learn how to grow through grief. People We Meet on Vacation dives deep into dreams and personal identity, while Book Lovers make sisterhood matter as much as falling in love. In other words, these may be some of readers' favorite romance novels, but they also veer into the women's fiction realm and tackle heavier themes behind the themes. Perhaps the bubblegum romances non-readers may be imagining. So what's next for one of America's favorite feel-good authors? I love what I'm doing right now, and it has been my happy place for the last 4 years. But this definitely won't be the last genre I publish in, she says. I read every genre. I write every genre except nonfiction. Of course, that doesn't mean she's giving up on romance, aside from the fact that she has 3 rom-com film adaptations in the works. Book Lovers, Beach Read, and People We Meet on Vacation are all getting the Hollywood treatment. She enjoys the genre too much to give it up. There will be other twists and turns in my career for sure, but I could see myself back to romantic comedies. There's just something so special about them. Here's her top 3 summer reads. First of all, there's the sweltering months of summer may give a small opportunity to give those out to you. And let's see. The sweltering months of summer may give us ample opportunity to get out and get active, but they also conjure memories of childhood summertime reading. And as certifiable bookworms, we think that's an even smarter use of those lazy weekend afternoons. But what to read? Henry may be a writer, but she is first and foremost a reader. And the 3 books below, one of which comes out later in the summer, have made her reading list this year. And it is the time of tomorrow. This one's called You're Invited, and this one is Between Us. Now. Okay. So look for your next great book and see where it goes. Whoops. I didn't scroll down. Okay. George Johnson on book bans, ways to read more books this year, and Colleen Hoover, books to read today. Those are the ones that you should be checking out in the book club. Leandra is a books and lifestyle contributor at Reader's Digest, a freelance journalist and content writer with a background in English education. She also has bylines in The Guardian, The Telegraph, and The Healthy. Leandra splits her time between the U.S. and India, where she and her husband currently live in the lower Himalayas. Woohoo! I wonder how cold it gets over there in the Himalayas. One will never know unless we ask her personally. Thank you, Leandra Bebo, for that fantastic article. Oh, okay. Yeah. And so he looks up, he says, I just looked that up now. What's the difference between the McLean Deluxe and a quarter pounder? The McLean Deluxe is made from beef that is probably has more of a fat content. So what you're cooking is going to actually be a very thin burger, and you're cooking most of the fat out of it. So that burger and almost the quarter deluxe are one and the same, except for the amount of weight that each one carries for meat. And I think if you take that much fat out, like about 94% of it, you'll get a very different taste of a burger. Try it. You might find it, and then you probably go back to 90-20, and, well, you know, the rest is history. But anyways, we're focusing on that before. She's got a lot of talking PowerPoints to continue on, but we'll see what she does later on with her book club. Great stuff. Thank you, Emily, for a fantastic article. And Leandra as well gets credit for that. Okay, when we come back, our third article about how does Facebook's snooze button work. We'll look at that and, of course, give you the motivation of the day as well as the events of Black History Month for February 22nd. And we'll go from there. We'll be back with more DMS 3000 news right after this.
I admit it. I thought of skimping. Could you look in those big blue eyes and skimp on her? So I buy Kraft singles. Imitation slices use hardly any milk, but Kraft has 5 ounces per slice. 5 ounces. So her little bones get calcium they need to grow. No, she doesn't know what that big Kraft means. Good thing I do.
Kraft singles, more milk makes them good.
Skimp on her? No way.
I love chocolate cookies and chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream with chocolate sauce and chocolate chips. But I don't love tummy bulges, so I wear Slenderalls, pantyhose, and control top panties all in one.
Hanes Underalls, sponsored an American portrait.
This is CBS. This holiday season, get the lemon lime soft drink with real juice. Get Slice.
We got the juice, a burst of cheer. We got the taste for this time of year. We got the juice, we got the twist. We got what's right 7 up the mix.
10% real juice.
We got the juice, it's going fast. We're stocking up to make it last. So nice. We got the juice.
Happy holidays.
Slice. All the things you love to see. A laughing child on Santa's knee. At Woodland Hills, gifts from the heart. Everything your heart desires. Sitting around the Christmas fire. Waking up to share. Gifts that say you care. At Woodland Hills, gifts from the heart.
Vice President Bush meets with hostage negotiator.
Bugs Bunny's Thanksgiving diet will begin after these messages.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News. And it's coming up right now on the 5 o'clock half hour, our final half hour of the program. I had an interesting question from Brandon Bogart. He says, what's the difference between a McLean Deluxe and a quarter pounder? Well, let's take a look and see what the difference is. We're going to share the screen on this one for you. So let's see what they came up with as far as the difference between the two burgers. It seems to me that a McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese is a fresh take on a quarter pounder's classic burger. Crisp shredded lettuce and 3 Roma tomato slices top a quarter pound of 100% McDonald's fresh beef that's hot, deliciously juicy, and cooked when you order it. Okay, so now the question is, all right. Now, they want to know what the difference is between, okay, what's the difference between a quarter pounder and, okay, Q-Aura, actually, let's see. All right. Let's see if we've got this. Okay. That's more of a double cheeseburger. That does not help. Okay. Let's see. Quarter pounder. That's more of a double cheeseburger to a McDouble. And, of course, the price is going to be different as well, too. So that's something you might... and a quarter pounder and a McLean Deluxe. See if that comes up. Okay. Now, according to what they said, the McLean Deluxe, including condiments, contains about 310 calories and derives 29% of its calories from fat, the Times reported. Now, that compares with 410 calories for the quarter pounder with 44% of its calories from fat. So they basically used a leaner cut of ground beef. Probably one that's a 90-10 compared to maybe a 70-30. What that means in terms of 70-30, 90-10, 80-20 is the amount of fat to the meat there. So if you get a package of ground beef and you look at it and it's 70-30, 70% of that ground beef has meat and the other 30% has fat. Right? I would think, yeah, that should also be the answer to the question. So if I've got that backwards, man, I'm going to be PO'd. What is 70-30? 70-30 in terms of ground beef. Okay, let's see what that means. Yeah, 70-30. What is 70-30 ground beef? Okay. Yes, I was right. If you see the lean point posted as 70-30, that means the ground beef is 70% lean with 30% fat. So when you see 80-20, 80% lean, 20% fat. 90% lean, 10% fat. Most of the time when you cook a burger, you want fat because fat keeps the burger moist. Not too much fat. You can go leaner, like an 80-20, and still get good flavor out of it. Anything over an 80-20, a 90-10 is really just, there's practically no fat. You can go with very lean ground beef, which is 100% lean and no fat, but you might run the risk of a dry burger. Of course, there are other ways of cooking a burger that would require some fat in it. You have to have a little bit of fat for flavor, but a little bit of fat in your burger is not going to hurt you. Of course, you could switch to an organic beef, and an organic beef would even be better for you because it's made from grass-fed cows that basically feed on natural grass and they're open range, which means that they basically free range and they're not restricted to what they eat, let alone where they eat for that matter. So that might answer your question as far as with the percentages. And I think with the McLean Deluxe, it had less fat in it in the burger. So they probably used a leaner type of ground beef to make the burger. And because of that, yeah, people might have gotten healthier, but I think they said it was very, very dry and very, very tasteless. And so to cover it up with more condiments defeated the whole purpose. I think condiments just added more calories to it. So, yeah. All righty. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I hope that answers your question there, Emu. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and get back onto our third article of the day, which is, we're going to stop sharing that, and we're going to pull up the next article in our list here, which is something about Facebook. So let's look at this. How does Facebook's snooze button work? Well, Brooke Nelson Alexander is going to tell us about this story that was updated back in 2022. Well, finally, your timeline will never look the same again. Well, let's face it, we all have a friend or two who shares way too much on Facebook. And while social media is a great way to keep in touch, it's possible to overdo a good thing. Unfriending them might be rude, though, and thankfully, Facebook understands your pain and have created an easy fix, the snooze option. In a nutshell, the new feature allows users to temporarily unfollow a person, page, or group for 30 days without notifying them. You will receive a reminder when the 30-day period is almost up. Seeing too many photos of your uncle's new cat? Is your friend tempting you with endless photos of ramen on her Japan trip? Product manager Surithi Murali Daharan wrote in a newsroom post, "It turns out you're not alone. And we've heard from people that they want more options to determine what they see in newsfeed and when they see it. Other Facebook features can also quiet down your overcrowded newsfeed, including unfollow, which removes all of their posts from your home screen, and hide, which hides a single post. But this is the first that allows you to silence your friends for a brief period of time. Want to keep your friends list private? Here's how to hide your friends on Facebook. And ready to try it out? Simply select the three dots above any post and then click on the option that reads snooze for 30 days, which you probably already knew because this article was back in 2022. Voila! You'll never have to see those awkward relationship posts again. Plus, you can always turn their posts back on should you change your mind before the 30-day period is up. If you're worried that you're the chronic oversharer, it's never too late to cut back. And we recommend starting with these photos you should never, ever post on social media. For the people that you're always happy to see, you can select the see first option so that they're at the top of your feed when they post. If you want to keep their posts on deck, you can even save that post. This option, Save Post, is located in the same pull-down menu as the unfollow option. Next, learn what a Facebook secret conversation is and how to start one. Brooke Nelson Alexander, she's a tech and consumer products writer covering the latest in digital trends, product reviews, security and privacy, and other news features for Reader's Digest. She's a two-time Emmy-nominated reporter with nearly 10 years of publishing experience, and her work has been recognized by the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. Cool beans. Great stuff. So hopefully that has helped you as far as your Facebook searching to keep your friends in check. I know the article's been almost 2 years to the date, but some people probably still haven't even used that feature, let alone anything else that was offered in this article. So we might have helped you, even though it's been about 2 years since the article was updated. Okay, when we come back, we'll, of course, look at our motivation of the day and the events of Black history for the month of February, of course, but for February 22nd, 2024. We'll be back with more DMS 3000 news right after this.
I admit it. I thought of skimping. Could you look in those big blue eyes and skimp on her? So I buy Kraft singles. Imitation slices use hardly any milk, but Kraft has 5 ounces per slice. 5 ounces. So her little bones get calcium they need to grow. No, she doesn't know what that big Kraft means. Good thing I do.
Kraft singles, more milk makes them good.
Skimp on her? No way.
I love chocolate cookies and chocolate cake and chocolate ice cream with chocolate sauce and chocolate chips. But I don't love tummy bulges, so I wear Slenderalls, pantyhose, and control top panties all in one.
Hanes Underalls, sponsored an American portrait.
This is CBS. This holiday season, get the lemon lime soft drink with real juice. Get Slice.
We got the juice, a burst of cheer. We got the taste for this time of year. We got the juice, we got the twist. We got what's frightened 7 up and mix.
10% real juice.
We got the juice, it's going fast. We're stocking up to make it last. So nice. We got the juice.
Happy holidays.
Slice, slice. All the things you love to see. A laughing child on Santa's knee. At Woodland Hills, gifts from the heart.
Vice President Bush meets with hostage negotiator.
Bugs Bunny's Thanksgiving diet will begin after these messages.
Okay, we're back here. We got no audio on that specific commercial. Maybe they bopped it for copyright. I have no idea. But anyways, we're back for more of the final 15 minutes of our program here. We hope you had an enjoyable time with us here on the show. And don't forget, tomorrow is the town hall style show where I'll be back there sitting at that chair. You can't really see it because it's in the dark, but I'll have the big light on here in the studio. And we'll be talking about what the future of this country is really about, folks. If you really didn't already know about it, we've kind of discussed some things, but I got a few things I want to get off my chest and not yell at you, but try to convince you that if you're voting the way you think, and you're listening to a bunch of stuff on CNN and all the liberal networks, you might want to think twice about it. But that's just me. So check us out tomorrow, 4 o'clock, for a special half-hour edition of DMS 3000 News. It's the town hall style show where I pretty much give you, all the people who pretty much are trying to ruin this country for you and your family. And it's not me. Surely it's not me. Why would I want to ruin what you've got? I'm not jealous. I'm not narcissistic. I'm your friend. So hopefully you'll take a gander and get some ideas and go with it. Okay? All right, let's take a look at today's day in history for Black History Month on this February 22nd. And this article was published and updated back in 2017. The article may be 7 years old, but the information and the history on this date are very accurate. The first rap Grammy is awarded, and one of the NBA's most famous dunkers is born. All this and more in today's special edition of This Day in History. So on this day in 1989, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Will Smith, won the first ever Grammy for Best Rap Song with their hit Parents Just Don't Understand. Other nominees for the inaugural award were JJ Fad, Supersonic, Kool Moe Dee, Wild Wild West, LL Cool J, Going Back to Cali, and Salt and Pepper, Push It. 1962, Will Chamberlain set an NBA record with 34 free throw attempts in a game. That record would hold for 50 years. It was broken in 2012 by Dwight Howard when he had attempted 39 in the game. And finally, in 1950, basketball great Julius Erving was born in Roosevelt, New York. Dr. J, as he was more commonly known as, would go on to be considered one of the game's greatest dunkers of all time. And by the time he had retired in 1987, he had scored more than 30,000 points in his career. Fantastic. Simple and yet very direct events to take you into tomorrow. And we'll look at those highlights for Black History Month tomorrow on the 23rd month. Not the 23rd month, but the 23rd day of the month tomorrow. Okay, let's go now to the Daily Motivator. End this program on a happy high note, as they say, and take you into the shows that are going to be on tonight. And speaking of which, tonight, if you are the champ of Card Sharks tonight, we want you in the game room tonight. We'll be there at 8 o'clock. Press Your Luck is at 8 o'clock. Card Sharks at 8:30 and Wheel of Fortune at 9 o'clock. So if you are playing tonight, we hope to see you in Discord for some fantastic, great shows, as always. So let's take a look at the Daily Motivator for today. This one is for Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. The title is Desire and Purpose. Okay. It's all too easy to get locked into a pattern of chasing one desire after another. And though you often end up getting what you want, it never seems to be enough and is quickly replaced by more desires. To get beyond that dilemma, turn your focus toward purpose. Each time a desire arises, stop and consider whether what you want in the moment aligns with a more enduring purpose. Desire drives you to achieve. Its energy can push you into action and sustain your efforts. So make sure all that energy is pointed in a meaningful direction. Rather than merely satisfying a fleeting desire, you can use the energy in the service of a fulfilling purpose. Though you certainly must address immediate needs, seek to do so without compromising your long-term goals. You're actually very skilled and experienced at achieving what you choose to achieve, and it's in your best interest to use that power thoughtfully. So before jumping and striving for what you desire, ask if it will matter a year from now, and if not, then what will? Turn your energy and awareness toward deeper purpose and create the fulfillment of which you're capable. Thank you, Ralph Marston, for that fantastic daily motivator that always takes it right to the heart. I'm Jason Icanio, thanking you very much for another great episode of DMS 3000 News. We'll see you tomorrow for the Town Hall style show. Get ready. It can get very ugly because my heart's going to pour out for you tomorrow for a half an hour to end the week, to take you into the weekend. Put the thinking cap on. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Gary Dawson Network for more great content like this one.